Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the seventh episode of A Dash of Salt. Today, we have an amazing guest to my right, CtrlAltDan. How you doing today, my man?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was a long day, but I'm excited to sit down with you, chat with you, be a fun conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. Hell yeah. Let's do this.
So we got some friends in here already. Thank you guys for tuning in. But for anyone who doesn't know you, introduce yourself a little.
Yeah, sure. My name's Dan. I am a computer science student from the UK. Currently finished my actually just finished my second year at university. I'm a variety streamer. I stream 4 days a week. Usually streaming something like we're currently doing Dark Souls 3 and some Nautica. And then I do tend to do a lot of like community multiplayer based games like Halo and Apex and stuff like that, and just really like like mix things
A
up
real
around a bit.
variety.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. So before we get into it, just so everyone knows, we at the very end of it is when we open questions up for chat. So if you'd like to leave any questions during the episode, I'll scroll back through and read them off, or you can wait till the end, whichever works best for you. So
Honestly, that sounds great to me. Yeah,
awesome,
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
So before we get started, I like to plug people twice. Tell me all your socials. Where can people find you?
yeah, sure. So you can find me on Twitter. That's usually where I'm usually most active, as well as Discord. It's at CtrlAltDan1. I couldn't get the
It's
Twitch.
so hard.
Twitch and Twitch and Twitter didn't allow me to just have CtrlAltDan because like some account from like 2011 has it. So great. But on Instagram, I'm just CtrlAltDan. So yeah, you can find me there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm always interested in how people got into streaming, and I'd like to hear how, especially with getting into schooling and everything like that. How did you first get into the streaming thing?
Honestly, it was for me, it was just as simple as I was in college, that's UK college, not American college. I was like 17 years old. And I guess in American terms, I was like a senior in high school. So my last year of high school. And um I just noticed I was very lonely and I didn't really have many friends. So I thought, you know what, I tend to watch a lot of streamers already, and I thought, you know what, I'm pretty sure, like my Xbox One that I had back then, has like a live streaming feature or something. So I saw, you know what, let's go for it. And I remember like my first ever stream, it was awful. It was awful. It was terrible. It was terrible. Everything was wrong with it. Everything. But it was just me playing Battlefield 1 back in 2016. And yeah, it's just sort of grown from there, really. And I just did it just to sort of like make new friends
Mm-hmm.
and just really like meet new people, I guess, because I felt as though that's kind of like what I've always really enjoyed doing, which is just like, real meaningful relationships, creating them and like, interacting with people and just, community engagement. I absolutely love that,
I agree. It's one of the things that drew me to Twitch in the beginning. And
Yeah.
even when I was like starting off and still kind of on the fence about streaming, the communities I found were very supportive about just like, hey, just do it. Like there's other people that will support you and, you know, show you what you need to do or help you out along the way. So it's been
Yeah.
very helpful to have people come in and like, uh, tell you the things that you're not quite sure of in the beginning because you can YouTube stuff all day long, but
Yeah.
some things you need someone to tell you, like, oh, hey, just do this or just do this. It makes things
Oh yeah, yeah.
super
For
simple.
sure.
And like,
For sure.
I remember when I first started, you was talking how like you played what Battlefield 1. I tried
Yeah.
playing Getting Over It
Oh well.
on my like old computer. It couldn't handle streaming and the game at the same time, so like everything was laggy. I didn't know how to fix it. I was like, okay, I'm never streaming again. But here I am now, so
Yeah.
you can come a long way with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think everybody will probably remember their first ever
Yeah,
stream, and 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 personally, I feel as though that is a very important part of being a streamer and
so
a
humbling.
content creator. Yeah, exactly. Like, you just humble yourself and you sort of, realize like, look where you came from and look
Hmm.
where you are now. And it's just sort of like, it sort of just like, makes your mindset just like a little bit lower of your own expectations, and you're like, damn, well, my stream just looks a lot more better now. I've
Yeah.
been streaming for like, X amount of years. And yeah, I can say I've definitely fixed like my lighting or like my frame rate or, my audio or anything, just I think it's a very important thing to sort of like, um, just hold on to like your first parts of your content creator journey, and just so in the future, you can just compare yourself, and which is the only person you should be comparing yourself with, by the way. You should
Yes.
not be comparing yourself with others, especially on Twitch, which is very hard. Another conversation, of course,
Hmm.
but comparing yourself to yourself in the past is the only comparison that you need to do, especially on Twitch. And I personally try and do that as much as I can. It's not always like that. Obviously,
It's
I
hard
think
at
it is
times.
it is yeah, it's very hard. You can definitely compare yourself to other streamers, and I think that's a very natural thing to do. It's just human. But
Y-
like I said, I think remembering where you first started is very important.
Yeah, I like going to my clips and because obviously viewers can make clips and sometimes I miss them because I was streaming and I didn't realize they made a clip or something like that. So I like going back through
Yeah,
clips, and then the ones I've gone through when I first started streaming, it's like, oh man, my stream has come so long. Like when I first started streaming through, I use Streamlabs OBS now, but I was
yeah,
using Twitch Studio, I think it's called. It's like Twitch's streaming program or whatever, and it's
yeah,
so bare minimum. It's still like in beta, I think. It just didn't have everything, and it was simple, and that's why I started with it. So it's funny to
yeah.
look back at clips and see that setup and see the overlays to where I've come to now, and you do see the growth of your own channel and stuff. So I like that.
Yeah, yeah, you really do. 100% agree with you. Just looking back on like old clips and stuff. Like me personally, I can just like, I can just picture like, the clips that I have seen from like, 2017-ish,
Mm-hmm.
2018, where I didn't even have a proper mic and
Oh
I had no
man.
lighting or something, and I just about got a camera, and I was using like a really crappy, cheap like headset, like on the gaming headsets that I thought was like, oh, it's so cool because it's got RGB and that makes more FPS or something,
Yeah.
but uh, and it's just, I don't know. Like I said before, it's important to like know where you came from, and
Mm-hmm.
like I know a lot of people like tend to, especially on YouTube, I've noticed that a lot of people delete their old stuff.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I guess just save face, or like protect the like the current brand, so they don't
Yep.
get associated with like
I've seen that a
maybe
lot.
like 10-year old
Mm-hmm.
dev or something like that. So but I think it's a very important thing, honestly, keeping those clips and just sort of going back, and it's a bit like a nostalgia trip,
It is. It
honestly,
is.
because you're going back a couple of years and you're like, oh
Yeah.
wow, okay, look how far I've come.
Yeah. It sucks when you see streamers or YouTube content creators private maybe they didn't delete it, but private their videos or whatever. One of my favorite streamers back in the day was CD in the Third, and
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
probably a year ago now, he switched from doing no face cam anymore. He just didn't show his
Oh
face
right.
anymore, and for whatever reason that was, his own personal reason. But he went back on YouTube and like got rid of all of his videos that had his face in them, and I was so sad because there were so many great videos that I used to just love and to go back and watch. And I think I'll always keep
Yeah.
my videos. I will say though, I did create a YouTube channel in like 2006, 2007, or whenever it was, and I definitely deleted all those videos. That channel will never be found. Don't even attempt. It is dead.
Oh man, honestly, now you're making me feel like I need to do that with my old YouTube channel. I made this YouTube channel back in like 2010, and I made the most dumbest,
Yep.
stupidest videos as a kid, where I was
Hmm.
just like experimenting with like Windows Movie Maker, and it was. I just hope to God that nobody ever finds it.
Yeah, I wasn't even that good at it. I was really just I was taking YouTube videos from my phone or videos from my phone and then posting them. I don't know. It was bad. It was so bad. But you mentioned being in
Oh.
university and everything. How's it been trying to be a streamer as well as going to school full time?
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been very, very difficult. Incredibly difficult. Just with just like what was that? The pandemic aside, um, I just finished my second year of university, and I I very, very quickly realized that for university, you most definitely need you know, strict time management. You need a timetable, for a lot of things. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like an incredibly, um populated timetable. You just at least need to know like what to do when,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't actually have that in my first year, so I wasn't able to stream for most of my first year, just because, I just had no time management. But actually for my second year, I was able to stream, so I would definitely say that um my second year was a lot better for streaming, especially because like everything was online, and that definitely made, the whole course and aspect of studying online a lot harder as well. But streaming itself, I feel as though it became a lot more convenient with online learning, because I was working and
True.
streaming in the exact same spot, and I
Mm-hmm.
was it. I'm not unlike the first month, it was a dream come true. But I slowly realized, like, actually, you know what, you need separate spaces, to sort of like, learn at university and stuff, and do your, streaming and stuff like that. And otherwise it gets very repetitive,
Yeah,
very quickly. And I think that's something that is probably that I'm gonna have to probably fix in the future. Because obviously, I just moved back from my dorm now, so I'm just sort of like confined from my to my current room. So yeah, I'd say overall streaming as a university student, definitely doable. But you definitely need to plan a lot,
for sure.
a lot.
It's
Yeah,
tough. Like just
yeah,
be
it really is.
just having a full-time job and then trying to be a dad and a husband and all that, it becomes tough. So I definitely get it. And I couldn't even imagine trying to
Yeah,
take on classes and homework and projects. And
yeah,
I couldn't even imagine trying to do all that on top of trying to stream. So props to you for
yeah,
getting it all done. And I have
for
noticed,
sure.
because there is the time difference here, that it's like it'll be later for me sometimes, and I'll notice you're still on. Have you tried to make it more of like a later stream for yourself, like, or does that just end up happening some nights?
Um, so I tend to stream later at night, because that's usually when I'm more free from, just like my daily chores and activities, and, my family as well. And so I sort of just give myself like after usually around about 7 p.m. UK time, like to just sort of like unwind and relax a bit, but also combine that with streaming. So I am able to like give my my community and my chat just my full attention, and all just pretty much being able to talk to them, as you would expect with every single streamer. Instead of just being like, oh well, I can only I can only stream for like half an hour, and then I got to go like help my parents, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I just sort of noticed that the block of like nighttime was a very convenient sort of time block. So I've tend to always kind of done nighttime streams. I'd say usually around about 2018 onwards. And also it lines up nicely as well, because a lot of my community is actually American.
I was gonna ask if that like
Yeah, yeah.
correlated.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. See, most of my community is actually on the East Coast, um, and I've got a couple of people in the Midwest as well. And then I say it's around about like I say it's about 70% of my communities in North America, and then
That's crazy.
30% in Europe. So yeah, it lines up nicely for sure.
Yeah, I had on one of the earlier episodes, episode 2 or 3, I had Dwelt Coffee. Shout out to him, but he's also a UK streamer, and he also does
Okay.
some of the late night streams as well, and that's how I was able to find him. Same with you, because you guys do the later streams. So I always wondered how big of your community was from America compared to over there. So that's interesting. That's
Yeah,
super,
no,
super interesting.
it's
Because
interesting.
even me, like
Yeah, for
sometimes
sure.
I get on Twitch Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, just because I'm up early and everything, and it's mainly UK, maybe Australian streamers, stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
barely any Americans on that early in the morning, so it's kind of cool to
yeah,
see the different time zones and who you can watch in between those times. I think that's super
yeah,
cool.
sure.
But if
100%,
if you
yeah.
want to get into it, what are you studying in school right now?
Yeah, so I'm currently studying computer science. It's difficult to say the least. But I'm studying something that I'm interested in. So it
Yeah.
doesn't make it as bad as you think, because actually learning something that you're interested in is something that really differentiates, um people that that are like going to school that are solely for the degree, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also what I'm doing now is that I'm going to the to university for the degree and to learn as well,
Hmm.
because I'm whilst the degree is definitely key. I think the information that you need to learn at university is also very, very key as well, especially for you to like merge into the workplace and such. I'm sure employers would probably expect you to at least know some key aspects from university as well.
Hmm. I was tuning into one of your streams recently, and I thought you had some great insight. I heard someone, or I saw someone in your chat talking about the struggles of university, and they felt like they were behind everybody else. And you kind of told them that sometimes it's like that. Like some of these people have been doing whatever their major is or whatever that since they were kids, and like this person had just gotten into it when you're getting into university, and you just told them just even because someone had a head start doesn't mean that you should give up on what you're doing. And I thought that was great advice. And have you felt that in particular, like in what you're studying right now?
Yeah, honestly, massively. And that it's just so I'm 22. So, and usually here in the UK, you go to university at the age of 18. I went at the age of 20. So it definitely did feel as though like I um missed out a lot. Um so but I already know that that is just like my sort of like my mind telling me that like because I'm doing it at 22, and then you've got like people in my class that like I've literally got like a 55-year-old
Yeah,
who's in computer
that's
science. And
awesome.
I'm sure if you yeah exactly, it's amazing. And I'm sure if you tell him like, oh, I feel behind at the age of 22, he'd probably just look at you and laugh, um so but it is most definitely something that I do definitely feel with university. I think university is definitely a place where new sort of anxieties do muster up, unfortunately. But it is also one of those things where every single day really is a very small growing experience. Sometimes you just don't really understand it or know it, but I like to think that it'll all just unravel in the future. And you know you'll but when you're done with university, you'll probably be like, oh, I wasn't really behind at all.
Yeah,
Things lined up really nicely,
yeah.
and I think everything's okay,
Yeah, I think as long as you
So
just keep at it, like there are gonna be people that are better than you at everything, and there's gonna be people that are worse, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So like that's just how it is, All you could do is try to improve and be the best version of you that you could be, and
yeah,
be happy with yourself for giving it all that you can. So I love that.
yeah,
I love that advice
100%.
you gave, and I was like, oh, I gotta bring that up on the pod because that was just sage advice. I just like look at him, just Dr. Phil over
I
here.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So did CtrlAltDan come from the background in computer science, or was that something that was just you always liked? Where did that originate?
Um, well, I remember just thinking of the name back in like 2000, I think 17.
Okay.
And I was looking for a way to sort of like incorporate my name into the um into like the Twitch name, or YouTube name, just the brand in general. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, well, what do I want to do? And back then I was really, really, really into like PC hardware, and I still am now, but like back then it was a lot more. Um and I thought I really wanted to make videos on YouTube about like PC parts and stuff like that. And then I just thought, okay, let's try and get like a brand, for a brand name that is relevant to that. And I was just thinking, like, what's something that's like um common that everyone knows about well, at least most people know about like computers and stuff. And I was just jotting things down in a notepad and just thinking like, oh, okay, what are these common things that people know about computers and like like hardware or like peripherals or keyboards and stuff. And I thought, well, Control deletes one,
Mm-hmm.
and I went, oh yeah, delete. That's actually two letters off my name.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put Dan in there, and I was like, yeah, that's not bad.
I think it
And
works
I just
really
ran with
well.
it. Thanks. Yeah, I personally really like it.
Yeah.
I really do like it. I have no plan to change it anytime soon, unless it's Twitch giving me the CtrlAltDan name. Because currently I'm CtrlAltDan 1
Yeah.
on Twitch, which is just
Just keep bugging them. If they're not like active at all, I think there was a 2-year window or something like that. That if they're not active between 2 years or something like that, then you can hit them up and they'll get rid of the name or something like that. I believe it's 2 years. Maybe that's YouTube and I'm completely wrong and I'm telling you a lie. But I believe it's
I
something like that.
yeah. It's probably something like that, but honestly, the username CtrlAltDan doesn't exist anymore. I think it got
Oh
deleted.
wow. Oh
And
man.
like
That's a
even though
bummer.
it's not there, like um for some reason just Twitch just still has it in its database, and I've tried contacting Twitch support about it, but it's just not
Dang,
happening.
that
So
sucks.
that's just yep. The CtrlAltDan 1 is we'll pretend the one means number one.
Right.
Yeah.
I like
Number one Dan.
that.
Number one Dan.
So on the last podcast, I had Robert Highland on, and we talked about branding and kind of rebranding. And you were talking about how, like, off podcast, you were kind of talking about how you're trying to get yourself branded a little bit better. What are some thoughts that you've had into that about trying to brand yourself more? Because I've thought the same thing. Like, I've started to brand out what I wanted, with the salt and salt shaker and everything. But obviously, I kind of want to take it a couple steps further with the podcast and stuff. So, what are you planning for your next type of branding?
Well, my current brand isn't really a brand, which is definitely one thing that I really want to like, you know, one reason why I want to make a brand, because I feel as though that is something that is very important when you're trying to grow a stream. And I'd say I'm obviously leaning more into like the technology kind of route of
Mm-hmm.
like the maybe I was thinking like because technology is such a broad theme. It could literally be anything, to do with like, maybe PC hardware to like, 80s retro wave or something like that, or like, I don't know, like, futuristic, cyberpunk kind of vibes or something like that. It's such a broad topic, and I'd say I'm kind of spoiled for choice with that regard. Honestly, I'd definitely say I'm kind of spoiled for choice. 'Cause I'm like, oh, well, which one do I choose? I don't know. But I think right now I'm currently like I'm currently liking the whole like cyberpunk kind of vibe.
Nice.
I've always kind of like like the whole futuristic kind of idea of like brands and stuff. I think it's like super clean and stuff, and I feel as though that is definitely something that I'd like to maybe get an overlay for as well. Maybe commission someone to make an overlay, or maybe I could just like find, you got like sites like Nerd or Die or something
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
that, or Own TV and stuff like that may have like overlay designs and packages
Mm-hmm.
already. So
Yeah, there's free ones
I've
out
been
there even.
looking, yeah, yeah, there are free ones, yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just I think it's just amazing the fact like the sheer amount of like Twitch resources
Mm-hmm.
that are just out there for free. you know I think that's amazing, and it's something that I definitely didn't have when like I
Yeah.
first started streaming, um like about 2017ish, on Twitch at least, because in 2016 I was streaming on YouTube,
Oh, okay.
and then I made the move over to Twitch. um but yeah, I think currently branding wise, I'm trying to go to like the tech kind of route, maybe go towards like more of a cyberpunk kind of vibe. 'Cause I do kind of go with the whole methodology of like less is more, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
as though like with the whole cyberpunk kind of vibe, it's like, or at least the futuristic kind of vibe, it's very minimal and clean, and I feel as though that is something that I really want to take my direction into. The whole less is more kind of thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just feel as though that would really fit in nice, I think.
No, I agree. No, I think, like you're saying, there's so many resources out there, especially for overlays, or even like reaching out. Soap that's in chat right now. I remember probably like a week or so ago, he like reached out on Twitter just saying like, "Hey, I'm looking to commission an overlay and or something like that," and then like. Boom, 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 boom. Within like 10 minutes, he's getting like all these replies, like, "Yeah, hit me up, hit me up, hit me up. I'll get you." So there are people
Yeah.
out there that can help you out, and I like supporting people trying to grow, small people trying to grow, that's why I go to Fiverr sometimes for things. So I think that's awesome that there's people out there that are willing to help, even for free sometimes. Some people just are willing to do it for free, which is truly amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I do think, with regards to like the artists, like, with the making, when you make a post about like, like saying, oh, I'm looking for like an artist, something to make a motes or an overlay or something like that, I'd definitely say that most of my bots just sort of like
Yeah.
created by by like the actual artist to sort of
Hmm.
like, scout out work,
Yeah, they
so
see
that
that overlay thing and then just, okay, I'm gonna retweet to or comment on everything that
yeah.
says overlay.
Yeah, so pretty much like every single like, tweet that has emote or
Hmm.
overlaying, or artist something, they'll just like probably go over there and it'll say, "Hey, please feel free to DM me" or something
Yeah,
like that. But yeah, I think there are a lot of free resources out there which just makes streaming just so much more easier,
it does, it does.
and that's more power, to the streamers that do use that, because you know obviously not everyone is absolutely littered with cash,
Hmm.
and free is definitely great. I remember using free overlay, when I started streaming back in like I think I used the overlay around about 2018, I'd say, and then I actually used that overlay until around about 2019.
Okay, nice.
um yeah, and because I just thought there was nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
and then I just sort of like found my current overlay. I just thought, wow, that's that one. That one's nice. That one's nice, and it's just it's just very plain colors, And back then I wasn't really thinking about like, oh, what can I do with the brand? I was just solely thinking like, oh, this looks pretty,
Hmm.
this looks nice.
Same.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
very same.
but yeah, now I'm definitely in like in the different mindset of like um wanting to definitely grow my brand, make it like a lot more visually impressive, and just sort of like keep it consistent,
Hmm.
overall. So like having like the same logo, maybe a couple of emotes that are similar to like the brand as well, and just sort of like have the kind of like experience, the general experience, when you see the name CtrlAltDan, you'll probably think like, oh, okay, that's probably got to do something with the technology, right? Because it's Control Delete, there's a
Hmm.
pun on that, and but I'm sure a lot of people come to my stream and it's like, oh, it's nothing to do with technology. So I definitely do want to change that, because it is definitely something I'm like, passionate about, and do want to, like keep, making things, and like learning about, because, that stuff is something I wanted to know like since I was, a kid,
Yeah.
just like keep learning about technology and stuff like that. And I guess that's sort of like why I went into university as well. But I'd say I definitely like to incorporate that part of my life um into my streams as
Nice.
well, because I've done like some some programming streams before,
Oh wow.
and they were great.
Yeah,
They were
I've tuned
great.
into a couple of buddies programming things or coding things, and they're very interesting. I have no idea what's going on, but to hear people like chat about it and talk about it, and just hear all the knowledge spewing out, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's I mean, programming is just a completely different world on its own. It's I can't even like begin to like explain like how deep it really goes, honestly. But yeah, I would say like, if anybody that is watching this, is interested in programming, I would definitely recommend giving it a go. And maybe checking out something like Python or something. And I just feel as though it's a very, very valuable skill, that isn't really spoken about enough. So
Oh, true.
yeah,
Oh,
give
hey,
it a go if you're interested.
programming's not going anywhere. That's just going to continue to be a thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll definitely have to do that. Kearns, I will get that for you, sir. um, but talking about technology a little bit, what's some of your setup that you got? What's because we were talking a little bit, and I think I've said it on another episode, but I got a dual PC setup. Not that I need it, and not everyone needs it, but if you want to get into your setup a little bit.
Yeah, so my setup really is honestly about as basic as you can get.
That's still good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still using the same camera that I've been using since like like I'd say about 2017, I
Oh
think.
wow,
Yeah,
it still looks
it's a
clean.
Logitech. Yeah, I mean, it's still going. Yeah, but I think I definitely want to like upgrade it and like put my photography DSLR on there
Okay.
as well. Just sort of like this summer, I'm just sort of like making it my project to sort of like invest into this stream with as little money as possible because I'm a student, broke life, so I can't do that even if I wanted to. Um, but stuff like with the stuff I do already have, like my DSLR that I use for photography and stuff. I will definitely use that. Start using that for like my streams and stuff because I already say that would just make the camera quality that much more
Mm-hmm.
better and probably give me less headache when it comes to
Yeah.
like trying to like level it up with like the lighting and stuff. But yeah, that's the camera. I've got two screens, both 1080p, and I think they're what 24 inches. So they're a decent size. And I've got a pretty small desk too, so I can't really fit much else on there.
I know that struggle.
So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to fingers crossed get a better desk. As soon as I'm like employed and able to like afford that stuff. Of course, but yeah, that's that. And then I've got like I think it's a SteelSeries um M500, I think, keyboard and a Logitech G502 mouse. And I'm using a very cheap um newer boom arm that I got from Amazon.
Listen, cheap is
Uh
always good in my book, man. As long as it
yeah, like
works and gets the job done, I'm down with it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's honestly it's been working great.
I think
I've
I
had no
I
complaints.
think this boom arm was like $15 maybe on Amazon. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know if it was that much. So I'm definitely always on. I'll upgrade it eventually, but it gets the job done. It
Yeah.
holds my mic.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Yeah, like what it doesn't need to be upgraded, it's not like you need like the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that, that's just gonna like, I feel as though that might just be like a bit of a, preemptive waste, you know what I mean? You like you get like, oh, I need that boom arm or something
Yeah.
like, or like I need this mic. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. If it works, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I've also got I'd say probably like the best part of my setup is probably my mic, which is an Elgato Wave 3.
Mm-hmm. Love those
It
bikes.
is I absolutely love it, honestly. It is basically like it is a USB mic that has like a mini Go XLR in it. So it's a USB XLR mic. That's what it is. And it basically allows me to use my laptop to carry out the audio from my PC. It's like the game music and my mic audio over to my laptop to encode it all.
Oh,
So
kind
like
of like
my
a
my
mixer and
yeah, pretty much. It
oh,
is
that's
pretty
nice.
much a mixer, and it's very very helpful. And I'd say probably my favorite feature is probably like right at the top you can just like tap and it just mutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great, honestly. And but I only very recently made this switch of having like a two PC setup. It's a laptop, so one PC, one laptop. Because I noticed like my PC is quite old, and it was struggling when playing like a game,
Mm-hmm.
um and it was also doing like streaming at the same time. And I just thought, well, you know what? I have a laptop, and I may as well just hook it up, with this really cheap capture card that I bought that I definitely would not use for actually like streaming like a Switch game or something. It just about does it's very unreliable.
Yeah.
Let's just say you get what you pay for, but it does the job,
Hey man,
um
I think that like I said,
so
as long as you can get done, I've said it in other podcasts before. I'm a fan of minimalistic approaches. I wish I had that more in me. I feel like my psyche just doesn't allow me, and I end up trying to do. Don't get me wrong. I just like my I'm using the C920, so it's not even like the best Logitech camera or whatever. So like
yeah, I think we've got the same one.
yeah, I try and go minimal, and then when I can't upgrade, I'll upgrade later. But as long as it works, it
Oh
works.
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, totally.
Excuse me. So, what about some other? Because I think that's interesting with the laptop. You're using it as a mixer to encode all the audio and everything. What are some other resources you use for your stream that could be helpful for other streamers?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if you have like a laptop and are all right with buying like a very cheap couch card or something, then that is definitely, something that I recommend. It is definitely something that, might be a little bit difficult at first to set up, but it will definitely be worth it, especially if your PC is a very old PC like mine
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't really handle things very well. So it'll definitely take alleviate some of that, pressure. But other resources, strange enough, I would say YouTube, honestly, because YouTube has an absolute, huge, you know, gallery and a huge influx now of like Twitch streamers, YouTubers,
Mm-hmm.
if you get what I mean.
I do. Yeah.
And back when I was streaming, like, you know, 2016, 2017, 2018, that just was not a thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? It wasn't popular to stream on Twitch, and after 2000, I'd say 2019-ish, or I'd say after no, let's say about 2018, it really started to like catch on, and now it's like just like really spiking now,
Yeah.
like in popularity till today. And everyone's making like just some form of like content about Twitch, maybe like their highlights, or Twitch tips or something like that, or things that they may know, like to help people that are new to streaming. So I would definitely say take advantage of the sudden influx in Twitch YouTubers, because they generally do have some good advice. And um, I would definitely say don't take every single bit of advice so literally as well. That's something that
With a
I did
grain
as
of
well.
salt. With a grain of salt.
Yeah, quite literally. Um, and because everybody's different, everyone's just the experience of streaming is going to be different no
Yeah.
matter what. You can't change that, because everybody is incredibly unique in their own way, and they're going to have their own sort of like brand and personality and approach to streaming. And just because it worked for one person doesn't mean that it work for you. You
Mm-hmm.
have to see what's right. But with that being said, I do highly recommend actually trying a lot of things. I tried a lot of things, like a lot of different games and stuff, until I really found like what I was comfortable on. And with like sorry, um with like maybe you're looking for like artists, something like that. Research and have a look at different artists and stuff like that, and before land on one. And especially with like hardware as well. It one person might absolutely love this keyboard, and they might absolutely praise it,
True.
like they were like a brand sponsor or something. Maybe they are, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
um but you might absolutely hate it. So I would definitely say take things with a grain of salt, and you know see how those things incorporate into your stream. It's okay if it doesn't really match into your stream.
Yeah.
So for some people, it's like it's like fitting a square in a circle sized hole. It's just not going to
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Everybody's different, different
Yeah,
personalities, everything. I was having a chat with my best friend. We're best friends. We have very similar humor. We like a lot of the same things, but very, 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 very different personalities. You know,
yeah,
uh, like what I was doing on Twitch, like I think because he's seeing what I was doing, we kind of started a little bit after me, and he was trying to grow. I think he was trying to somewhat emulate what I was trying to do, not like copy or anything, but what you see, like the normal going through, and he wasn't happy with it. And we
yeah,
kind of had a conversation. It's like, hey, just be yourself, be who you are. And he has found more happiness in streaming now that he's just not trying to be something else that he's not. And that's even with resources. Um, alerts aren't for everybody. Not everything's for everybody or what they're trying to do. So I've seen people with crazy stuff. You click on things, commands, stuff's going off everywhere, and people that don't have anything and minimalistic, and they still can put on some good streams. So It's just
Yeah.
finding what your personality is with streaming. Um,
100%. Yeah. Agree.
and we are at the 45-minute mark, and this is where I like to do some rapid fire questions. You can
Okay.
you'll just give me the first thing that pops in your mind, or the first answer that pops in your mind. There is no wrong answer, but I might judge you on a couple.
Okay. All right. I'll do my best.
All right. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
All right. Dream vacation spot.
Gosh. Probably have to say Australia,
Oh,
maybe.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Best pizza topping.
Ooh. I like to go all meat, baby.
Nice,
All
nice.
meat.
First game you ever played?
Oh wow. It was a game called Oddworld.
Oh, I remember
On
that game.
the
Yeah.
yeah, it was on PlayStation and Xbox. I actually played it on the original Xbox back in like 2001 when I was like 4 years old, and that's I still have like vivid memories from
Yeah.
that from that game. So yeah, it's a fun game.
Awesome. Favorite game of all time.
Oh wow. I'm probably gonna have to go with either Fallout New Vegas or The Witcher 3. I
Both
am
great.
a sucker for RPGs,
Both great.
honestly. Yeah.
All right. How many holes does a straw have?
Um. Oh God. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with one. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with
Okay.
one.
Okay. Favorite actor to play Batman?
Oh wow. I, Christian Bale, right?
I mean, he's a
Was
great
that?
one. He's a great one.
Yeah. No, I'm just
Begins,
trying to think. Like,
Returns. That was the kind of the most recent trilogy.
yeah, I'd have to go with that one,
Okay.
honestly.
Hey,
I
Christian
really, I
Bale's
really,
great.
yeah, yeah. I
I
really did like that.
I joke around. I say Ben Affleck's the best, but I like Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was a sick Batman.
Yeah.
All right. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
Oh God. Oh God. I've never thought of that before. I am gonna go with cake.
Okay. Okay. Uh, if you
I
had
want to say pie.
if you had to choose one condiment to have with every meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. Hot sauce.
Oh, okay. That's a good
I love
choice.
hot
That's a good
sauce.
choice.
Yeah.
Would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Oh wow. And what is there like any catches to this? Like, do you have infinite oxygen and
Yep.
infinite
Yep.
time?
Yep.
Like,
In your lifetime, maybe,
um,
I guess.
I think space. I
Okay.
have always been massively into astronomy, since I was a kid. So yeah,
All right.
space for
That's a good
sure.
choice. Good
Yeah.
choice. And because I know you play Halo a lot, what is the best Halo?
Oh no. Like Halo Twitter is gonna come after me for this one. Um, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go for my favorite Halo, and I would say Halo 3.
Okay, I agree. I
Um,
like Halo 3.
yeah, I would say Halo 3 because I'd say it has the most thorough campaign and the most thorough multiplayer. And I would say it was possibly one of the biggest game launches of this century
I
so far.
I
So
remember
yeah, Halo 3.
grinding for the katana. Grinding for that
Oh
dang
yeah.
katana was such a struggle in the oh man, I always remember that.
Yeah. Oh man, good times, good times.
Which Pokemon best describes your personality?
Oh man. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna go with Bulbasaur.
I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna go with Bulbasaur.
First gen.
Yeah, let's go.
I say
Bulbasaur was
Squirtle.
my first favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, I love it.
So, oh, Squirtle.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, I love
Squirtle
Squirtle too.
guy. And then the most important question: is water wet?
No, something has to be affected by water to.
Thank you. Yes.
Something has to be affected by water to become wet to absorb water itself. So no,
I agree.
water itself is not wet.
I agree, man. People want to argue with me about it, but hey, it's just my opinion. But but yeah, that's our rapid fire questions. I think it's fun, and I think I'm gonna add some more in here soon. But I think those are some fun questions to
Yeah.
start it off with.
Yeah, they were awesome. I loved it.
So speaking, going back, we were talking about your first stream. Do you remember that first person or those first group of people that outside of friends and family that really popped into your stream and started chatting with you? Because I still remember the first dude that ever popped into my stream and chatted. It might be weird, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do. And actually the first person that ever like came into my stream still hangs out in my stream. He's called Lil Hizan, and he's awesome. I've actually met him in real life.
that's
He's a
amazing.
really, really cool dude. And he just came into my stream once when I was streaming Stardew Valley, and he's just been here since. So yeah, shout out to Lil Hizan.
No, I think that's awesome to hear those. And it's like, uh, I see Kearns and Penguin. They got to meet up and everything, and I think that's just super awesome
Oh
when
yeah. Yeah.
streamers, viewers, co-stream. You know what I mean? I think that's awesome when people can meet up. So,
Yeah, for sure. I saw Penguin and Cairns meeting up, and I was like,
mm-hmm.
my heart very full. It was awesome.
So, what are some things that you try and do to stay fresh on stream and not feel like you're getting burnt out?
Um, that's a very, very good question. So with regards to like not getting burnt out, I would say, you know, identifying it is most definitely the first part. Identify like what you're, getting burnt out with. Like I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been burnt out. Currently I can definitely feel myself getting burnt out on Halo because I've been playing nothing but Halo, and honestly I just need Halo Infinite.
Right? Oh
That's
man.
it. Yeah. So you know, I'm guessing that's probably gonna come out in like November, December time.
Yep.
So they did say holiday 2021. So I don't know, maybe let's quicken it up, maybe. I don't know. But I'd definitely say, being able to switch it up on stream, like I can't tell you the amount of times like I've been streaming one game and then like an hour later I'm just like I'm not feeling this. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I can't because you have to realize that people come to stream for you, and if you're not comfortable with something and you're clearly just pushing through this game that you do not want to, partake in, well, it's not going to be a very good experience for the viewer.
Yeah.
And I think as a streamer, it is your duty to make the viewer feel as comfortable as possible, as welcome as possible, and to really make that just make the overall experience, a good one, So I would definitely say, it's totally fine to, um, you know, switch up games when you need
Yeah.
to, and
Midstream even.
oh yeah, even midstream, whenever in stream, and as well, also a massive thing that I just feel as though it's a little bit taboo to speak about in the Twitch community, but taking a break.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many people try like and you know th- they'll 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 sort of like promote the whole idea of like the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the hell is the grind? That's no, there's no such thing as the grind. Take a break if you need it, man. Like it's
Yeah, I think there's so many people who are, you put so much into it, right? And then you see, once you finally start seeing the outcome of it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I'm the same way, but like, you're almost afraid to lose it all in those moments of taking
Oh
a
yeah.
break. But I will say there's
Yeah.
been moments that I've been able to, um, stop and rest and everything, and it's just helped me so much, and it's motivated me more for when I come back to put on an even better show, a better stream, better presentation for everything, and it gives you time to think. I say,
Yeah.
like, there are times I'm like struggling with a game or whatever, a project or something at work. Sometimes it's best to just step back from it and step away from it and not think about it, and then when you get back into it, you come at it with a whole different or whole new eyes.
Oh, 100%. I think it's something that is very, very important, and especially for people that decide like, streaming every single day is a good idea. It might be a good idea for you if you have that kind of energy, then go for it. But for me personally, that just is not what it is for me, that is. And I think that's the same for a lot of people, even partnered streamers,
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think the level, you can be small, you can be big. I think that all comes. The burnout comes, and I think no matter the level, you need to find that break point.
yeah,
You
for
don't want to
sure. And
crash. You don't want to
yeah.
crash.
Oh God, yeah, no, for sure. I think a really good example of this that I want to bring up is actually a streamer who is quite big. I'd say you probably heard of him. He's called Carnage.
Probably, yeah.
And yeah, he's been streaming for like, God, I'd say a very long time, and he streams every single day.
Wow.
Um, and it wasn't until around about um, what was it like sometime in 2020 that he decided that I'm finally going to take a break. And he had been streaming for like, years straight every single day. And I don't know how he did that,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. But he finally decided that it was time to take a break, for a few days. And I think it might have been a day or something. I don't know. But um, it just goes to show that, breaks are necessary and you
Yeah.
can stream every single day for years, but you will need a break,
Yeah.
honestly. And I can't imagine the amount of amount of things that that guy has had to sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
in his own personal life just to stream, and you know I think that's quite a double-edged sword. A lot of people would call it very honorable, but a lot of people would maybe even say it's something, go along the lines of like saying it's selfish,
Yeah.
because for like family or something
You
like
can
that.
teeter that fence, teeter that line of, being
Yeah,
honorable, being selfish.
it, it is very a very double-edged sword. And I'd say it's definitely a controversial topic for when it comes to like streaming on Twitch. A lot because you've got like one side that say, oh, just keep going, it's the grind, keep going, just stream, don't doesn't matter, if you're feeling like, oh, should I stream or not, stream. And then you got the other side, which is like, well, if you're questioning the fact that you need to, like, if you should stream today or not, maybe you should figure out like why you're saying why you don't want to stream. And if you listen to your body, listen to your mind. If you're
Mm-hmm.
saying like you don't want to stream, then don't stream. It's very important because this is like any other hobby. You can most definitely burn out over the simplest of things. And it is very, very easy to just crash and burn on this on Twitch. And the insane amount of pressure, no matter what kind of viewer base you have, comes with it. And I feel as though that is something that everybody sort of like ticks that box, like, reading them terms and conditions, but not actually
Mm-hmm.
reading them of Twitch, of being a streamer, of like, yeah, this is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of imposter syndrome. There's going to be a lot of anxiety, and
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a lot of burnout, if you're not careful. So I would definitely say that taking care of yourself, mental health, your physical health, most definitely, being, active in other aspects of your life and not constantly focusing on stream, which is actually something that I was most definitely a victim of. Like I basically just, I was definitely guilty of that, and I just focused on Twitch so much that I really just surrounded everything about my life about just streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pushed out every single other thing out the window.
Yep.
That isn't healthy. That is not healthy. And you can talk to any single like partnered streamer, or like streamer that at least makes a full-time living wage, from Twitch, and they will say that, yeah, no, that's not healthy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I like to play basketball or something when I'm not streaming, or football or tennis or something like that. Or I like to draw, or I like to go hiking. These things are very important, to take extracurricular activities outside of your extracurricular activity,
Agreed.
which is Twitch. So that as well, on top of being able to just, listen to what your brain is telling you, like, you don't want to play this right now, you don't want to stream today, people will understand. You know, for the longest time, I thought like my community just would not understand, and they just think of me as a terrible, terrible person. Because I would have said like, I'm not feeling it today, guys. I'm sorry, but you know what? I took like a 6 month break, and they were completely understandable
Mm-hmm.
and understanding. Sorry,
And
and
some people are just as
yeah,
excited to see you come back. You know what I mean? Like, the community. Some people are so afraid of losing the community that there have been times where, like, a streamer or a YouTube video or whatever, they just randomly disappear one day. You don't see their videos anymore, and then they're back, and you're like, oh wow, I'm so glad that they posted a video or they're streaming right now. So it can be
yeah,
beneficial in the same time. Mentally, it could benefit your stream as well. I think mental health is a, a huge thing, a part of that. Like you talking about going outside, doing something outside of the whole streaming thing, because you can get so focused in on the numbers, you can get so focused in on what this streamer's doing or what they're doing, and what you're not doing, or what can I do to be like them. That, like, I think you need that step away and to have that good mental health. And I've actually seen that on your stream, and I've seen you promote, positive mental health before. What are some things that you would try and do to promote that or help someone else promote good mental health?
Yeah, so how I do it on my stream is that I will speak about mental health openly, and I'll just do it like how it's like how it should be normal. I feel as though in society, not just Twitch but society, mental health is a very
Mm-hmm.
taboo, touchy subject to speak about, and I just since day one I just sort of realized like, well, as someone that does struggle with mental health with regards to like depression and anxiety on a daily basis, I wanted to make my own space that I'm cultivating and growing a mental health space, like safe space really for
Mm-hmm.
not just me, everybody. And I think everybody that's really in the community does understand that, and is very much appreciative of that because you know, I can see that because people can speak about mental health very very openly, and you know when I first joined Twitch and started streaming, that wasn't really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it just mental health just did not really have its place in on Twitch. It was like it's kind of like Instagram, where everyone posts their W's and no one posts their L's.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
that's how Twitch was, but it's nice to see that Twitch is now like incorporating a lot of things about mental health awareness and stuff like that. And I would definitely always try and promote that as well, of like making sure that people um people are taking care of yourselves, like by if I can give them any advice at all, then that and it'd help them, then that'd be absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, as someone that has experiences with mental health, and I'm sure we all do, we all go through things, and especially during the past year or two, with COVID and the pandemic, it's been particularly hard, and a lot of people have turned to streaming for that sort of like just sort of like to feel, a bit better,
I
to be
think a
in a
lot of
community.
us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just no, sorry. Yeah, just sort of like be part of a community, feel included. I do feel as though that is something that the pandemic definitely like forced people to do, to sort of like find these online communities because they couldn't go outside.
I think a lot of us were, at least let's say the past year, the people who started streaming in the past year or so, the people I've talked to at least, it definitely seems like we were all kind of in that same feeling of, um, it's not even just being lonely. It's the whole aspect of it, and it kind of is the whole mental health, physical health of it all,
Yeah,
where like you can feel lonely in this time, and you didn't have the the brotherhoodship of some people that you had before, the partnerships you had with friends that, you know, for me, for example, like, um, unfortunately or fortunately, I was able to keep working and that never stopped, but my work almost doubled during COVID, so not
yeah,
only was I working more, but also nobody was able to get out. So the times that I was free, I wasn't able to spend that time with anybody. So it's like I got burnout working, and then mentally I just wasn't connecting with anybody. So it became like a bad moment for me. And
yeah.
streaming did help, and I was able to talk to people that were basically going through the same thing. So I think Twitch, as much as there are trolls and as much as there are like shitty people, because that's the internet,
Yeah.
there are respectful people out there that understand the struggles of
Oh,
everything
yeah.
and are genuine. I say that, and I always say it: genuine, genuine, genuine. I like genuine people.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Just be you.
Oh, 100%, definitely. I think just being genuine on Twitch is a very important thing because you can definitely see like who's, you know, not being genuine on Twitch,
Yes.
who's, for example, like just streaming just for like, for example, like the money or something like that, or just trying to be someone that they're not, it's very obvious to sort of see that. And even if it's not obvious at first, I feel as though those kind of things will eventually just sort of, you know, tumble down, and maybe they start like contradicting themselves or like something that they said in the past or something, and then it all sort of like aligns and comes together. So I would definitely say like being genuine on Twitch, no matter if
Yeah.
even if you're a streamer or a viewer, is probably the most important thing,
Yes.
of your personality at least, and that's something that I most definitely try and do and promote on my stream, which is just like just being myself. Like who I am on stream is who you're gonna get in like in
Mm-hmm.
person. It's gonna be the exact same person. It's not gonna be like like the complete opposite. And And it's just like I feel as though to have that sort of like connection where people just feel like, oh yeah, no, I know this guy's genuine. I can tell if I met him, IRL, then that's how he'll be, and it just sort of like strengthens that connection, that bond between each other. Because it's like, well, it's not like I'm talking to an actor, I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to a real person here, and I'd also say like just being able to relate to people as a streamer,
Yes.
I'd say that is something that is massive and also really connect, strengthens bonds. You know, it's a very huge thing, I think, and because relatability is most definitely something that people look for when it comes to streaming, because you're kind of just like finding like your own tribes and like groups when you're looking for like streams and stuff like that and communities. So one that relates to you, or as closely as it can to you, is most definitely one that you will probably feel most at home at,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe it's a community that's all about like mental health, or maybe it's a community that's like, yeah, what I actually found, which is all about black and brown streamers. And I absolutely just I was so happy of finding that, because I'm a brown streamer, and I found these guys, and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. I'm like part of my own people here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's amazing, and I just felt so at home. So I do feel as though that relatability is most definitely a very, very important thing for streams as well.
I think that's a great thing that Twitch has added with their tags. You've seen over the last month them just dump a bunch of tags out there to be able to add to your stream, and being able to do that for people who do want to, whatever they want to find that common interest in. If it's gaming, because you have to game things that you can go, whatever it may be, to find the community of people that want to just share that one thing or multiple things. I think is very
Yeah.
important. I really love that Twitch has done that. If
Oh yeah.
even as simple as like speed runs, like
Yeah.
I like to look at the tag speed runs sometimes, just because, like, I don't know why it fascinates me, but like, I just
It's
think it's cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that there's all these tags out there and you can find a community for whatever you're looking for. um, and on the thing of the viewers, I think it's awesome that there are so many great viewers out there that are willing to talk to you as well. A viewer talking to a streamer. I've gotten sage advice from viewers before, and it's just really cool. And then there's been the times where you get the shitty people, the shitty viewers, and
Yeah.
I will say that, like, when I've seen, there are just the trolls that pop in, just say some crazy shit, pop out. You know what I mean? But then I see some people that, like, are in streams, children, sometimes teenagers, um, where they just make some questionable comments and stuff, and it more seems like they're trying to stand out and be noticed. Um, and just to those people, you don't need to do those things. You can be nice and genuine and happy about something, and you can still
Yeah.
stand out.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to be an asshole to be in front of everyone's eyes. And I just hate that when I see that type of stuff. And any
Yeah.
hatred on Twitch kills me, man, because I just don't understand it. Like, just
Yeah.
either don't watch it. Like, I don't get it. Why did you have to, like, type something
The
in?
thing is,
Like.
it's so like I mentioned before, I'm I'm brown, and that is something that, is very, part of my identity, and when trolls, will come into my stream, that's the first thing they'll pick on. So I will most definitely say that I have received a ton of racial abuse when it comes to streaming, and I've lost count on the amount of times that I have actually received that kind of abuse, because I would I don't know if I'd say if it's like, on a monthly basis now. I'd say like, because we do have there's some good I do have some good moderators
Mm-hmm.
that are regular in chat, and that usually just deter some people away, because they'll just know that they'll just get banned before the streamer can even um read whatever they say.
Which is why I
But
always appreciate mods.
oh god, yeah, yeah, for sure. Shout out to all the mods out there. Yeah, we love you. We love you. Everything that you do. But it's something that is very huge, because it's like the thing that you have to realize about like what goes through these people's minds is that they all want a reaction.
Yeah.
That is it. That's all they
It's the
want.
quickest comment to the quickest reaction. It's what it
Pretty
is.
much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. It's like instantaneous sort of like, dopamine for them. So of course they're gonna do it. They're addicted to it. And if anything, you should feel sorry for them.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell goes around, you know, just being racist to random streamers,
It doesn't
you
make
know?
sense to that. That's what I said. Like the hatred that comes out, and I just hope I can't even begin to act like I know what that's like. I've talked with you a little bit about one of your last streams, but I can't even act like I know what that's like, right? But I see it, and it hurts to see it. And I think as someone that on the outside looking in, all you can do is educate yourself and try and educate people around you. Um, just on the you can correlate things to other things, you know what I mean? Like you can give
Yeah.
examples to other aspects, so for example, I come from a family from the South, you know what I mean, that is super old. So I grew up hearing these type of things that just upset me early on, and all I could do is try and educate. And it's so great to see when that actually works and you see people's minds change. And all I can hope is that
Yeah.
more people can see that and more people's minds change where that's not even in us anymore. It's just so
Oh yeah.
hurtful to see.
It is. And I think, you're, totally right about like educating, yourself and other people, like, even myself, someone who is most definitely a victim of, racial abuse, on a regular basis, both online and, in real life. I still need to be educated on some things. So it's not just a thing that needs to happen to, like, where you
Oh
say
yeah.
like, oh, I'm not part of that,
Mm-hmm.
that ethnic group. So that means that, it's only me that needs to be educated. That no, no, it is most definitely everybody. Everybody needs to be educated more and more. And it is probably the biggest weapon we have right now in society, which is just education and
Mm-hmm.
understanding like what things are, so that we can sort of very slowly, sort of like pretty much vanquish this kind of like hatred from society, overall, which was probably going to take a lot of time. But over the past 5 years, I would say that from my point of view, I've seen a lot of progress.
I have
You
to.
know, a ton of progress. Especially with stuff like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was worldwide.
It was.
And and that sort of like did a snowball effect of where like now there are other things now that are being protested about. Like for example, like stop Asian hate and free Palestine and stuff like that. There's a lot of these things that are now have like the pushing force momentum of these incredible things like Black Lives Matter, that had such a huge impact around the world, that now can finally get the recognition of changing society for the
Mm-hmm.
better, and eventually just sort of like getting rid of that mindset. And we are most definitely on the path to that,
Yeah.
most definitely, 100%.
Eh,
And yeah, we're definitely like a good a good head start already, I'd say.
Have you seen that improve with Twitch and YouTube and stuff being able to promote it more, like on Twitch on their main page? They spend that extra time promoting those channels and everything like that, promoting those views. For Pride Month, it was all there. For Black History Month, they were just I see it, and I think it's not. It doesn't seem pushy to me. It seems like this is what's happening, and this is what's around the world. And I hate that. I agree. We need more protests, and I hate that protests have to come at the expense of something bad happening. It seems like that's
Yeah,
where it's where it kind of begins, and it sucks that it has to begin there. But you see the change afterwards, and I think we have seen some great change over this past year.
we definitely have. I think 2020 and 2021 are most definitely formative years for society. I hope to say that in 5 years that we have changed for the better. Both online and in person, um, socially. Just to sort of like accept people for who they are, and allow people to just to be them. Without any sort of like hate or pressure. To change really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would definitely say that we are on a very very good start, and especially I think that things like what Twitch are doing with like adding the tags and stuff, and like promoting black creators during Black History Month and stuff like that. I do think it's important,
Yeah.
to definitely give them that limelight, because well, who else is,
Exactly.
so
Exactly. That's
I
why.
definitely think it's good.
That's why I hate the comments when people are like, "It's so pushy," and I was like, I don't understand how it's pushy anything can be pushy. You know, I turn on YouTube and I get an ad, and is that being pushy? You know, like, no, it's not being pushy. It's just what's happening, and then they're trying to promote something. So I never
Yeah.
understood that whole shoving it in your face thing. I think like, hey, for a lot of groups that, you know, you've gone so long, hundreds of years without representation. So like to finally have some, like, why is it such a big deal? You know, so
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Like, I mean, even like you said with YouTube ads, like some people would say that they're pushing. Yeah, maybe they are, but like you still have the option to just close it and go to
mm-hmm.
another,
Oh, what
another
exactly?
video or something. So I wouldn't say it's pushy. I'd say pushy is something like where you're kind of forced to, watch that. And if you don't like that, well,
Yeah,
okay, go, just that's up to you. You have the option to do whatever you
mm-hmm.
want. So yeah, like I totally agree with you what you said, about, with things being pushy. Like, I don't think they're pushy at all. I think it's good to, sort of like have that diversity and stuff, and just sort of like be inclusive, and definitely, just put that spotlight on a certain group that deserve to have the spotlight
Yeah,
on them for a certain amount of time. Yeah.
agreed, agreed. um you know, moving towards what your stream wants to be, do you, you know, because I see on your Discord you have the Free Palestine on there. Is this something that is important to you? Obviously, is this something that you try and promote as well on your channel?
Yeah, I would definitely say that, going back to, like, with the whole mental health thing, and, being able to speak freely. I also say that it's quite important to speak about like things like current affairs. And sometimes, when it comes to like politics, I do feel as though that it's important to, like, when the time is right. And obviously with things being civil, thankfully my community is very, very civil, and anybody that is not
Important.
civil gets absolutely, just banned
Hmm.
instantly. I have no tolerance for any kind of, uncivil behavior or
You can have a
anything, just causing.
conversation without being disrespectful or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's okay to have opinions, and you can have a respectful opinion. You don't have to be hurtful or disrespectful just to get across something.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do definitely feel as though, like, you don't have to be disrespectful. And some people, nowadays will just actually go out of their way to just be disrespectful just because they don't like your opinion, you know? And, you know, I don't really ever really understand that mindset. But, I always give people the option of like saying, like, when we do speak about those kind of things, say like, if anybody's uncomfortable about this, that's totally fine. We can just, nip it in the bud, and we don't need to talk about this. So I'll only ever speak about it when like something is brought up and it is a very controlled case and a controlled matter. That when we are speaking about it is something that is being, constantly monitored, and moderated. And if it does go in, a bit, um I mean, it never does, but if it were to like go, out of hand, then obviously we have moderators, and I can
Yeah.
always, do something as well. So I would definitely say that, what I've just said may really, you know, make people feel like, oh God, no, he's talking about politics and stuff. Well, I'm not really talking about politics. I'm more talking about like, you know, um, stuff like how, we were before talking about like educating people about
Yes.
racism, racial abuse, and stuff like that. Myself being a minority, I'm a brown British Muslim, and I've come across a lot of abuse, in my life, just for being me. So it's really the same aspect and the same idea of the whole mental health, of being able to speak freely about mental health, also being able to speak freely about stuff like, racism, and any, sort of like, hate speech or anything, so that we can educate people and make it a, sort of non-taboo topic to speak about, so that we're able to educate people, on a wider platform. And what better place to start, other than, my stream, and I can definitely say that it has definitely helped some people, increase their, the way that they think about things, and
Hmm.
definitely make them more aware, because when there were things were very, very high, like escalating with, things in the Middle East with Palestine and stuff. And obviously that is something that is very, very close and dear to my heart. I made sure to let people know about it, obviously, because um things can get very, very twisted, and when it comes to like media and stuff like that. So I made sure to let people know, because it was a very, very dear thing to me, and it was something that was always said with the utmost amount of respect. And if anything, I always thought that when speaking my heart about these things, about the things that really affect me and concern me, about like my heritage and my people, um I always thought that it would turn people away, but no, it actually, whenever I've spoken about these things, more people come into the stream. So
Mm-hmm.
because they either relate, or they're interested, or they just want to be educated, or they disagree,
Yep.
I've never really had any trolls or anybody that has interrupted what I've had to say, about when we're talking about like, racism or something like that. And I think that is just absolutely fantastic. And I'm just super proud of my community just for being, an incredibly, civilized, and just being open minded, and just, just being incredible in general,
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think me personally, I never try and get political, or I never try and touch on subjects that are quote unquote taboo, But at the same time, it's what I wanted the podcast to be. Like,
yeah,
sure, if I'm streaming a game, this is me personally, because I love it. I think you should always use your platform for what you want to use it for. You shouldn't let anyone else tell you how you should use your platform. So,
yeah,
I think it's great with like how the NBA has done with Black Lives Matter. Just use your platform for what you can, and I think that was a great way for the podcast. And like, um, for me, for a dash of salt isn't about me. It's about you. It's about who I'm bringing on, and I want that person to express what they want. And I think this is a great conversation for that. And for everything.
yeah,
For any type of topic, I think it's important to have these. So appreciate you for
yeah.
getting as deep as you did right there.
No, I know. Believe me, I appreciate all the same. Really, I really do.
So, get on to a lighter note. Who are some other streamers that you kind of obviously we were talking about earlier? You don't want to compare yourself to them, but who are some other streamers that motivate you to be better, or that you see and like, okay, let me try and or they pump you up or whatever? Who are some other streamers out there that have helped you along the way?
Um, well, I've had a lot of streamers that have helped me along the way. But I'd say there's two very recent actually three, I'd say, streamers that I just, that I feel as though just sort of like help me, in either a very small amount or a large amount. And I will name them. They're probably watching. So the first one is Kerns. Kern's, I just feel as though I absolutely love his streams. He streams at a very, very late time for me, like usually around about two o'clock in the morning. So I can barely ever make his streams, but when I do, he is always the most, um, just hyped up, positive, wholesome person, and it just feels great to always talk to him. And whenever he comes into my stream, he'll always just really gas me up and just make me feel better than I ever have the entire day. So
Yeah.
honestly, I'd say Kearns is always someone that whenever he comes into my chat, he's always pushing me to do better, and he's always asking me like, "Hey, is everything okay? I hope you're doing well, man." And
Hmm.
just it's just always good to have people like that in chat. Honestly, second person, I would definitely have to say the local penguin. What a great guy! What a great guy! Honestly, what a great guy. And he's just such a great guy. Honestly,
Hmm.
he without a doubt that guy is in my streams
Very
pretty much
selfless.
every single. Yeah. Oh, he's amazing.
I
He
see
really
him.
is.
I see him promote other people more than himself.
Honestly, yes. he needs he needs more promotion for, like, just
Yeah.
for him. Like, we need to promote him more. He's just amazing, honestly. And I've spoken with him off stream, many times, and he's the most absolutely amazing guy. And I just feel as though, he definitely deserves a lot more recognition when it comes to his um when it comes to his stream, because he's definitely trying his hardest. And
Hmm.
especially with balancing, like, streaming and school, going
Oh
back to what I
man.
was saying before, it's very hard. So
Yeah.
I know what he's going through. He's going through a lot. When it comes to like balancing things. So yeah, I definitely feel as though he deserves it, because he's all, he's all about just growing the community, community interaction, engagement, and just sort of like he puts a lot of work in,
Yeah, you can see
and
he's
so
trying, and I love it when you see people that are actually trying, and from what I've seen in the amount of time that I've been watching him, like he has never weighed from that, and I think has only been more motivated. And same thing, he sees other people and gets even more motivated. So I think that's awesome, and I
yeah.
love feeding off people's energy like that.
Oh God, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's very, very important to have like friends like that that just, that will always, keep pushing you no matter what. Which actually brings me on to my third person, and I actually just saw him pop up in chat right now. Is actually C Crane One. I've known C Crane for a very, very long time, and he actually only just got into streaming quite recently. I think only a few months ago. I think. And I've known him for about a good 7 years
Oh wow,
now.
nice.
So we're very good friends, and he actually came over from Kansas to visit me here in England back in
Kansas.
2019. Yeah,
Wow, not
so
far from where I'm at.
I don't, you know what? Before I met Secret, I didn't know what Kansas was.
Oh
I
man.
just thought like I just knew of America. Like there was New York, there was California, and that was it.
It is
That
it
was
is
it.
daft smack in the middle of the country. Like it is the middle of the country.
This the absolute dead center.
Yeah,
But seriously, C Crane is amazing. He is probably the most supportive person I have ever come across, and I feel as though he always has always, no matter what, pushed me to do better in every single
I love
aspect
that.
of my life, not just streaming, but um just life in general.
I love that.
This is the guy that see me at the lowest of my lows and the highest of my highs, and he's never left my side.
That's
So
awesome.
big love to C Crane. He's in chat right now. Please go give him a follow. He does stream, even though he is bad at Halo. So don't tell him I said that.
Oh, I'm awful
But
too, man. I feel your pain, C Crane.
but he's a great guy. So I would definitely just off the top of my head, I'm sure there's plenty of other
Oh
streamers that
yeah,
I can definitely name if you give me some time.
by not saying someone's name doesn't mean that they haven't helped you or anything like that.
Oh
So
no, no,
don't
of
feel
course.
on the spot or anything.
If I've ever forgot your name, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not personal, okay? But yeah, those three they're definitely the ones that I've definitely had the most impact on me, at least in 2021, at least for sure, 100%.
Nice. So I always like to ask this near the end, but what's your next goal? Streaming goal, content creation goal? What's your next especially now that university's done? Do you have like a big push you're trying to do before you go back to school?
Yeah, actually, I'm probably gonna be getting back into YouTube content again. I feel as though growing on Twitch is actually the growing on Twitch, you kind of have to grow off Twitch
Yeah,
as well,
I've learned now the
So
hard way.
on other yeah, other platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, making content on those is really, really beneficial and also really good for like branding and just community growth and engagement. I just feel as though it's just a very, very completely different platform for you to express your creativity no
Mm-hmm.
matter what you want to do, um and just sort of like shift all your ideas from just being live all the time to constantly just like instead of being live, just now making a tailored video that you want to
Yep.
do, because obviously the pressure of being live is pressure. The pressure of making a video, to at least to your to your ideals, and your timings and everything, is a lot less. So I would definitely say, it is definitely a very good thing to like, explore other avenues and other platforms for sure. Um, and that's definitely what I'm going to be doing with primarily YouTube, I'd say. I haven't really clicked with TikTok yet. I don't know. I
I
don't.
just made a profile this week. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt it. I told myself like, uh, it may sound dumb, but like, it's TikTok, Twitter's like whatever. I post Twitter all the time, but I'm gonna try and post something exclusively, But TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Am I missing something? YouTube. But try and
Yeah.
just hit one every single day at least. You know what I mean? Twitter. That's why I don't really count that because I'm always kind of doing that. But if I can at least hit one of those a day, I feel like somewhat accomplished because it's more than what I was doing a month ago.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And what you just said there, comparing yourself again to a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though that is absolutely incredible. Like what I said right at the start of the podcast was like, the only person that you should be comparing yourself is
Yep.
yourself. In the past, compare yourself to like a month ago or comparing yourself to yesterday. That's the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that matters is the fact that are you better than what you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year. That's what matters. So yeah, totally agree with that for sure.
Awesome. So I do have one more question, but after the question, this is where we start. We open the floor up to chat. So if chat has any questions for Dan here, we go through, talk about those. I might have a little bit of questions myself,
Okay,
But yeah,
sure.
so drop your questions. If you've already dropped them, I'll scroll back through and read through them. But for my
Yeah,
last
yeah.
question, it's kind of a selfish question. But if you were the host of A Dash of Salt, what's some questions that you would ask?
Hmm.
It's
All
great
right.
insight for me. It's great insight for me. And don't ever feel like you're hurting my feelings. I love criticism.
I need to have a minute on this one. I'm
Okay.
thinking, it's like some extra questions for just for the podcast
Yeah, for
for
like
the
what
guest.
for what A Dash of Salt is and what we're doing here. What do you think is some questions that you'd like to see?
Um, I would maybe some stuff like extracurricular.
Okay.
Things like in life. Maybe about like more stuff about things off Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe stuff like what's it like being where I am like in England or something
Oh,
like that,
hey,
but it's
that
like here
that's that's my
the
questions coming up.
okay, awesome. Like the cultural differences as well. And just a lot. I think a lot of a lot of questions can be made with stuff that are not Twitch based,
Mm-hmm.
which and just not online based, honestly,
Exactly.
which I think is awesome. But if we're talking like Twitch and stuff, I think you really hit the nail on the head.
Awesome. Thank you.
Um, I really do. I think you were very, very thorough. So I'm finding it hard to think of some stuff. Um, um, maybe I would say, maybe some like, some like extra advice for like, like a certain niche kind of part of Twitch. For like maybe something like it could be like for growth or branding or
Mm-hmm.
like your personality or timing or scheduling or social media or something like that. That would be really good as well. What else? What else? What else? I think also, I mean, doing something like, for example, like, focusing more on like, community um, engagement as well, like asking like how I think a really big one, because so many people have, different communities,
Yes.
asking how that community has sort of grown. What was the growth procedure with that certain community of
Mm-hmm.
what the guest has? Like, where did it start? What's it been like over the pandemic? What are some sort of like certain plans that you may have for like the community? So I feel as though like those kind of like very, I wouldn't call them personal, but sort of like they they're very meaningful sort of
Mm-hmm.
questions to like delve into like the actual streamers like offline life as well, and
Yes.
going not just talking about the streamer but like the actual community as well. I feel as though
Exactly.
I feel as though that'd be really, really good for sure.
I agree. I agree. I try, like, everyone's a little bit different. I say it all the time on stream, but know your audience. And I also like, uh, you never want to get too intrusive on anyone's life or anything like that. So anyone that I've ever hit up for the podcast, I always say, hey, if there's anything you don't want to talk about, let me know. We'll always veer from those topics. And if there's anything you
Yeah,
do want to talk about, let me know, and we'll make sure we definitely touch on those topics. So I
yeah,
agree. There are
100%.
some. I definitely like the idea of getting more into that and more into the personal questions. Um,
Yeah, awesome.
but with that, I think we'll open it up. And I always like to shout out everybody that kind of came in here, and I appreciate everybody that came in. So Penguin, I appreciate you. Soap, Cranny, I know popped in here for a minute. I think he's streaming right now, but thank you for popping in here. Skimpy Chimp, I love that name.
That's one of my moderators
That's
actually.
amazing. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great name.
shout Skimpy.
But HJ, thank you for being here. Truly appreciate you. And then what was Sea Crane? Sea Crane, appreciate you. Kern's popped in here, awesome. Love to see everybody popping in here like that. Big Mike, got to see you pop in here. Yeah, I hope. And Echo was lurking. I know she's got her Family Feud tonight, so check that out. But let me go.
Awesome.
And if you see a question that I missed in chat or anything like that, feel free to ask it as well. There is no no problem. You're not jumping over me or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I haven't really seen any questions at the moment, but I am like kind of half blind, like
Oh, hey,
legit.
man.
So yeah, I'm gonna definitely give you that one for sure.
Soap is one of the first ones I saw. Dan the Man, has there been a streamer that you felt most helped you find your stream footing?
A streamer that has most helped me find my stream footing. I think. Okay, so I'd say if we're talking about streamers, I'm probably gonna have to circle back to Sea Crane and also Penguin for sure, because those two guys have pretty much just been like helping me a lot when it comes to like my personal sort of like branding and sort of like approach to streaming and stuff like that. And especially Sea Crane, because I've known him for such a long time. He was there when I started streaming. He was pretty much my first viewer, and he was he always just sort of like nudged me in the right direction, pushed me like, oh yeah, this
That's
is good, this could
important.
be good, better, but basically that, yeah. So I'd definitely say those two, shout out to those two, and honestly, they're both absolutely incredible people. I've already met Sea Crane, and it was an absolute honor to meet him. I just wish it would be longer. I highly
Yeah.
recommend going checking out Sea Crane 1. And the same with Penguin. I'd be absolutely honored to meet him as well. He's just an amazing guy, honestly. So yeah, I'd definitely say those two. But I'm saying that because like I'm only saying two right now because I feel as though at the moment my sort of like streaming career has only just begun, even though I've been streaming for
Yeah, I've heard you say that
4 years.
I've heard you say that before. So
Yeah. So I'm very much focused on that point of like I feel as though my streaming career has only just begun of like the past year in 2020 because I haven't really been thinking like a streamer would. Well, I'm gonna rephrase that. I haven't been thinking like a content creator,
sure.
like an actual proper
Yeah.
content creator. Before like for like what 2 years, I didn't have, so 2017 2018 I didn't have like any scheduling. I didn't have any sort of like brand identity. I didn't have any stream identity, nothing like that, absolutely nothing. My personality was just like very quiet and like, oh, I don't know, I'm very very shy and stuff like that. But I definitely say that that's something that streaming has definitely helped me like come out with. It's definitely made me come out with like just being less shy and just
Yeah.
being more and strengthened my own self, my own self purpose and my own self belief and myself.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely been one of those things where it just solidifies yourself and allows you to say this is who I am. And there's so many people in my chat that say this is who you are,
No,
and we love you for that.
that's
So
important to have
that's something huge.
that support, and I appreciate everyone on Twitch and off Twitch that supports what I'm doing, and it really drives me to once again be a better version of myself every day.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So I heard Penguin ask, this is a very important question. Dan, how does one get so handsome?
Oh, okay. I mean,
hey, it's a great question. It's a great question.
I mean, personally, I'd say I'm not the person that you need to speak about that. I wouldn't say that I'm that good looking, but if I need to give an answer, then I'd I'd say definitely having a beard
Oh
helps.
man, come on, you're gonna call me out like that, dude?
I'm sorry.
Dang. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
it's all
sorry. It
right.
just
It's all right.
for me, for me at least. I feel as though with regards to like my own personal um beliefs, beliefs, not my own, no, self belief. Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to go for. My own self belief, definitely like grew from like actually like somehow like actually growing like a little bit of a beard, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually kind of look good. And then that's when like I started to like appear more on stream of like being with the camera and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt a lot more confident because I feel as though that is something that's very very important. And I know like what I just said like might come across as like really big headed. I'm sorry
Oh
if it
no,
did.
no, no, no.
I just wanted to make sure.
Nah,
But
of course not.
that was just my personal experience because I felt good with my beard, and I thought, well, I feel good with it. I love it, and
Listen, I
you
wish I
know,
could. I'm
I
jealous. I wish I could grow a beard. I see everybody with them. I turned 30 in a week, and this is what I got. This is my face. This is what I'm supposed to be
hey man,
working with. So,
that's you. That's you. That's totally fine, man. You're beautiful the way you are,
thank
man.
you. I
Honestly.
appreciate you.
Don't and again, like I said before, and that's why I've said this like 4 times this podcast. Don't compare yourself with other
True,
people. You know what I
true.
mean? That's off Twitch as well. But it's not just a Twitch thing. It's just a human thing.
It
I
is.
think.
It is. It is.
It's just a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the bid may be coming to an end soon because
No.
me and the community agreed. We said like we set a goal of like it's a very very crazy goal, which which is which I think is why I'm actually kind of chill with like thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep the beard. That I'm gonna shave the beard and mustache off on stream if we hit 500 subs. And
Oh
I was
wow.
just like, well, 500 subs, yeah, well that's just definitely not gonna happen. I'm gonna keep this, so yeah,
Hey,
I'm fine with that.
one
But
day, it could
who
happen.
knows? Maybe one day, one day. But I was thinking like, oh, should I do like my hair as well? But I was thinking, you know what? I've actually got a charity stream that I want to do sometime this year. So yeah, I think I'm gonna probably do that as well. If we like hit like maybe I don't know £1,000 for like charity or something,
Okay.
then I'll just like shave, go like completely shave off, and I feel as though that'd be absolutely hilarious, honestly. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
thinking about doing a charity stream in November. That's like the Crohn's and colitis month. That hits home for me because I've suffered from Crohn's for the last, I was like 17 or something like that, so a while. So that's something that's personal to me. But I thought about the same thing. I was like,
yeah.
maybe I'll shave my head if I can get to a certain amount. Which I don't have
Hey
much
man,
hair. I don't
that's
have much hair
amazing.
anyways. But my head is lumpy and awful, so it would be very embarrassing.
Okay. I mean, honestly, man, I think that's fantastic. Honestly, I think charity streams are, an absolutely huge thing, and I think like, it's it's something that just is absolutely beautiful because as streamers, you can do something that is just so great for a cause and something so personal, like you just said,
Hmm.
that you struggle with that. I feel as though that'd be absolutely amazing, and you'd feel amazing as
Yeah,
well because you'd like I just raised this X amount of money
exactly.
for something that I feel so personal
Hmm.
for, and I just feel that is just something that is incredibly, I wouldn't say overlooked, but not spoken about enough, with streaming, that it is such a amazing gateway to, such incredible things like that.
Yeah. I'll
So
cut
good.
to right here. Sorry for the jump cut. But were there before I get into my questions, were there any more questions that I saw? I don't know if I can read some of the jokes.
Uh, I think I didn't see any of the questions apart from what Sea Crane just said.
Okay. If you could spend a day with any content creator, who and why?
Hmm. Okay. I think. Okay, so this guy no longer streams on Twitch. But I feel as though Harris Heller
Oh
would
yeah.
be a very good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Brad talk
Um.
about him a lot. He's so insightful with, and as well as being insightful, he's very real. He's very like
Yeah.
very very real, like brutally honest. I would say it like
Yeah.
that. He's not
Yeah.
he doesn't sugarcoat anything. And he's also like, take my advice or don't take my advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
I think that's a great person.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So I would say that I'd definitely go with Harris Heller because I feel as though he has so much industry experience, not just with like Twitch, but he was making content way back in Vine,
Mm-hmm.
and he hit gold. He struck gold back then. So, um, I feel as though he has a lot of wisdom when it comes to like content creation online. And just especially with audio, because like I remember in one video he was saying like he studied like audio engineering or something like that. So I feel as though he'd have a lot of wisdom to share. Um, so yeah, I'd definitely go with Harris Heller for sure.
So, yeah, he's got so much information, and plus what he's done with for music for Twitch with creating
Yeah,
non-DMCA music. Like that's so amazing for what he's been able to do there. Like, and he didn't have
yeah,
to,
stream beats
to
for
do
sure.
it. You know what I mean? So I think that's so
Yeah,
amazing. Um,
for sure,
for
for
me,
sure. It
for
just
me, I don't. This might sound like a crazy answer, but and not that I like want to hang out with the person. I just think it'd be super interesting to see what the daily life of a Logan Paul or a Jake Paul is like their
right.
life is content creation, right? Like their whole
Yeah,
life, everything they do is content creation. So I think that would be super interesting. Obviously we see the antics as the viewer, but I'd like to see the
yeah,
behind the scenes of everything. Not really necessarily the personality. I don't really need to know who they are behind the scenes, but I'd like to see what all goes into everything and how they are able to shape everything, because they're very successful.
yeah. They are. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you said like Logan Paul or something, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then you sort of like elaborate, and I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're totally right, because we don't really see. I mean, I
Mm-mm.
don't watch them, but
No.
I can already tell that we don't really see much about them.
Mm-hmm.
We only know like what they want us to
Exactly.
see.
Exactly.
So it would be very interesting to see like what they actually do behind the camera, behind the scenes. Like, what are they thinking? What is their like daily routine like? What do they do?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're completely different
I'm sure. I'm
off
sure they're.
camera.
I'm sure they're different.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely an act, that they put on for like YouTube videos and stuff like that, really just for like for clout or something like that, or just for
Mm-hmm.
attention, really, because you know it just goes back to the whole thing of like, oh, look at this, really cocky, guy that says he's going to do this thing, and you know and doesn't do it, and everyone laughs at him, but he still gets paid loads, like with his boxing match and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a really good one for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
No, I mean, I think they're. We can hate on them all we want because there is a lot to hate on. But at the end of the day, they're great businessmen. At the end of the day, they're great content creators because through all these years talking about starting on Vine, he was one of the biggest Viners. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And like, so and he's been, especially Logan Paul, Jake Paul as well, but I think he's piggybacked a little, but has been able to move over to every single form. Maybe not Twitch, because I don't see him stream on Twitch, but he's been able to take Vine to YouTube to TikTok to everything and be successful on every single platform. So I just think that would be super interesting to see what goes behind that.
oh yeah, for sure. And I do remember Logan Paul did stream on Twitch for like
Oh, really?
a week. Yeah, he
Was it
did do
during
it for like a
was it the
week.
Pokemon card thing? Was that when he was into the Pokemon
um
card?
No, it was around about the time when Ninja played with Drake,
Oh, okay,
if
okay.
you remember that.
Yeah.
And he sort of like wanted to get onto that bandwagon, but
Okay.
he did it. I think he did it for like around about like a week, or like half a week, and I guess he just didn't like it or couldn't take
Yeah.
whatever he was getting. So
He's probably getting
yeah,
more views on YouTube than he was on Twitch, and because
yeah,
I see
probably.
huge YouTubers, millions of views on YouTube. They're sitting around a K maybe viewers,
Yeah,
2K. Which is I mean that's still a lot. I'm not like, but like for
it's still.
Twitch, when you see like the juggernauts of Twitch, like it's very minimal compared to what they're getting. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100% agree with you.
So I had a question. I was able to ask Dwelt about this last time, but I had never known what a weather spoon is. Do you have any experiences with weather spoons? I just figured out what they were. Like I'd always heard about it and I'd seen some pictures and I'm like, what is this?
Okay, so Weatherspoons, or as we call it in the UK, spoons.
The spoons?
Um, not just know it's just spoons.
Okay.
It's like we'll say something like we're going up to spoons. Do you want to come or something like that? Like we all know what spoons are or is. And so Spoons is basically, or Weatherspoons is basically like a brand of pubs that are like they're quite uh ergonomically designed around like different themes. So every single pub, every single Weatherspoons will have like a different theme and a different name. So for example, there's one in near Old Trafford, near the Manchester United ground, which is Mardi Gras themed.
Oh, okay.
Um yeah, and there's another one. I can't remember which one. It's called like the Moon Under the Water. So like they all have different names. So there's one Mardi Gras, and there's another one Moon Under the Water. They've all got different names. There's so many. That's like it's very like very rustic kind of cottage kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. It's very hard to explain, but basically it is just all like a brand of pubs that you can basically just like sit in, eat, drink, socialize, and watch like sports or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's really all it is.
Yeah, I heard like every single one has like a different carpet or something. They're all definitely different thing, but like no Weatherspoon has like the
Yeah,
same carpet or something like that. So I thought that was kind of
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Because they're all like different themes, so yeah, they'll probably all have like a different carpet. Yeah.
What's been your, and you don't have to go too deep into it because I've had some rough nights, but have you had some rough nights at a spoon?
So I actually don't drink because I'm a
Okay.
Muslim. But I have most definitely, because obviously I'm a student, I have seen my friends and flatmates that I was with back then definitely have rough nights. My first year was, in my first week, of freshers, was absolutely insane, where people just drank so much that they just passed out. And yeah, and I don't know if that was particularly in spoons, because the thing is with spoons, it's not a very like hyper place that you get drunk with. You go there to chill, you know. Um and if you drink alcohol, of course. But the thing is I don't, so I've only ever been in there a few times. But I'd say it's a very nice atmosphere, um, but it's not really my kind of vibe,
Sure, 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 sure.
because I don't really drink, but I'm more than welcome, to always go in there and just sort of like I don't know, get like a water or coke or just any non-alcoholic thing really, and just sort of chill with my friends or something. Um, and but I'm sure that there's some people that are most definitely like being like super drunk and had to get kicked out of spoons or something. To just like keep like the pints coming and
I
stuff
feel
like
like
that,
those are the pictures I've seen of them. Is like people just being carried by someone else out of one, you know?
there is a really like there's a picture that was actually like taken like right out of spoons inside in my city, Manchester, where it's at Christmas time and there's like taxis on the road, and there's like this one guy that's just like drunk, and he's fallen over and he's got like a pint, and he's just sort of like stretching on the floor, like like the picture of like the Sistine Chapel on the
Mm-hmm.
roof, on
Yeah.
the painting of like where it's like
That's so funny.
Adam God just like touching like that. It's like he's grabbing like his pint on the floor, and there's like a police arresting like some other guy there. That's just like that's a very notorious image of like UK night culture, of where it is all just about like alcohol, fun, and just getting into trouble, I
That's
guess.
awesome.
Which I can't really say that's my kind of vibe, so I just usually stay home most nights.
Okay.
But
Fair. Hey,
it is,
each their own, you know.
yeah, it is definitely fun to sort of like witness for
Hey, I like to
sure.
people watch,
And
so that'd be fun for me.
yeah, it's definitely fun to witness, and especially if you're with friends that like are drunk or something, it can be quite funny too.
Nice.
So yeah, for sure.
So with Manchester and with the Euros just happening or happening still, are
Yeah,
you
yeah, it's
are you
happening.
are you a football fan?
I am,
All
yes.
right, who's your team? I can already
I
guess. I feel like, but
go on.
is it Manchester
Which one?
United?
Yes.
Okay, okay,
I'm wearing red for a reason.
yeah, okay. I had to make sure. I had to make sure.
Yes, United for
Okay,
sure. I've
awesome.
I've been a United fan since I was a kid.
That's
So yeah.
awesome. No, obviously soccer over here, but it's funny because you never see a lot of it. At least in America, you don't see a lot of it until the Euros is happening or
Yeah.
the big events. So it's kind of cool to see everything. And like I'm a fan of going on Instagram and just seeing all the celebrations of everyone going crazy over something. So I'm not big into soccer and I can't act like I am, or football, but I love sports, so I think that's awesome to see that. And
Yeah, no, it's
Manchester
definitely
seems like it's
great.
got a lot of fans.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Manchester United is probably the most well-known
Mm-hmm.
football team in the entire
I
world,
would agree.
for sure. So yeah, it's especially when like if you go into like a another country, sorry, or something, and I'll say that, oh yeah, I'm from Manchester or something, and they'll say, oh, Manchester United, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, Manchester, yeah, I live in the football ground.
That's so funny.
So, yeah.
Well, guys, I did have another one. I can't remember what my last UK question is. Oh, where's if I were to visit over there, where are some beautiful spots that you would recommend?
Well, it depends what you are looking for,
Give me
really.
scenery, give me like beautiful earth scenery, and then give me like something to do.
Okay, okay. So the UK has like an absolute plethora of national parks. So greenery is definitely not something that you'll, run out of here. You'll definitely be able to go up to places like Lancashire and Yorkshire, to like a Lake District and Peak District, and Yorkshire Dales as well. Some absolutely beautiful, beautiful, national parks, and they're absolutely incredible. Honestly, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the waterfalls, the forests, everything. It's like it all looks like a Bob Ross painting.
All right.
Honestly, it's like you're staring at a Bob Ross painting, like what he was painting, basically. Um, and if you're more into like stuff like by the seaside, I definitely check out something like Cornwall, or oh gosh, Brighton is also really good. As well as, I would say, I think Dover is also pretty good as well, because you could also see the along the English shore,
Okay,
the white cliffs of Dover. It's all just like,
I've heard of that.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
white, like a very sandy beach, white. It's absolutely beautiful, especially in the summer. So yeah, there's a lot of things, especially to do with the with the nature, and especially if you go up into Scotland as well, plenty of nature
Scotland's
there.
so beautiful.
It's abundant, in nature. And to be honest, the entire UK is.
Yeah.
Honestly, they like Wales has Snowdonia, which is a huge national park, which is actually the biggest, mountain in the UK
Oh
as
wow.
well, which is there. So it's huge. Um, so pretty much every single part of the UK. So you've got England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. They're all incredibly unique, and they all have parts of like nature and tourist attractions that make them stand out from the other the other side. So it's unfair to say it's like one is better than the other, because they're not. They're all equally beautiful.
Yeah.
So for nature, that for sure, you will not be disappointed wherever you go,
Nice.
honestly. Yeah. And I guess for like, if you're looking for like more touristy kind of stuff, I mean, obviously London. London, obviously. It's got like it's the capital.
Yeah.
You've got everything
I
there.
definitely want to check
uh
it out.
yeah, for sure. London is huge. It is massive. It's got pretty much everything there that you probably need. Where I live in Manchester is like a very baby size version of London. Like, it's like London, but like shrank down. Um, so a lot of people tend to come to Manchester usually just because like they got friends or family here or something like that. But there is a lot of like stuff to do in Manchester, because like if you're into like history and stuff, because like the Industrial Revolution happened here.
Yeah.
So you can definitely see like on like ground level, you can see like a lot of very, very old, like 200, 300 year old buildings. And obviously and then in the sky you can just see loads of skyscrapers and stuff
That's
that were
wild.
built
Yeah.
like 5 years ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very very stark difference when you visit there. It's like two worlds almost. And
That's crazy.
Manchester has very like a very huge culture around like music and stuff, and especially sport as well. So if you're in sport, obviously Manchester's definitely the place that you want to go. But like music and culture in general is just very very heavy in Manchester for sure. Also Liverpool as well is also a pretty big spot for music as well, because obviously the Beatles came from there. So yeah, I know a lot of people probably like the Beatles.
I love the Beatles.
Um, yeah, I'd say York is also a pretty good one as well. I think, oh god, who came from there? The only one I can think of is the Arctic Monkeys,
Okay.
which I'm pretty sure they came from York. I've not listened to them in a long time actually, from like since high school. Yeah, they came from York. But honestly, there's so many places like in just the UK in general, that if you are whatever you're looking for, like history or nature or like food and drink, you can find it everywhere
That's
pretty
awesome.
much. Everything was so everything's so well rounded and centered that no matter where you are, like you can literally be like that little stick figure that you get on Google Maps, where you just like drop them around on Street View. You can be that guy and just like drop wherever, and you won't be disappointed. Like you could probably, like, I don't know, maybe drive 10 minutes and you'll probably be wherever you need to be. So
Well, I
yeah.
dream of being able to come visit sometime. Like, I don't know, it's one of my main spots I want to visit. I think number one for me is probably Japan. I just love anime, and I love the culture there, and I would just really love to just see it and experience it just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And then New
Yeah, for
Zealand
sure.
looks so
Oh.
beautiful that I really want to check
Yes.
out New Zealand. But
Yes, yes.
and I also think I like going places that also speak English. You know what I mean? I feel
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
that's,
for sure.
it's not such a
Yeah.
culture shock at that point. I've been to Mexico before, and like, man, it's hard sometimes to be able to
Yeah.
have that translation issue there when you need to do something. But
Yeah,
luckily,
that's
we're in a
the language.
day and age where you can just use Google Translate, so it makes it a tad bit easier.
Yeah, I know for sure, for sure. But I definitely understand like going to like English speaking countries,
Mm-hmm.
as a priority. Just it just gets rid of the whole stress of like,
Yes.
trying to translate and speak in another language and stuff. So yeah, I completely understand that. And I'm sure, like you just said, like, today in this day and age now, honestly, most countries speak better English than
Mm-hmm.
we do. So
Oh,
we're totally fine.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was another streamer or something like that. Gosh, where did they go? An Asian country, maybe Philippines, maybe Korea. I can't remember quite where they said they went, but they like studied for like 6 months the language before they went. Learned how to read it, tried to learn how to speak it, and then they got there, and most of them uh
Like
had better
English.
English than he did whatever language where he was. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
super funny that that's where we're at in the world, where English is just taking over. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
And it's like supposed to be the
I have
hardest language to learn too. So
yeah, it is it's hard because it's a very it's a lazy language.
that's true.
That's the thing. It's not a thorough
That's
language, and
very
this
true.
comes from someone that whose language is English was not my first language.
Mm-hmm.
I have family in like other countries that where and they've said to me before, like, why, I asked like, why is English such a popular thing? Why do they say, speak it so well over there?
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's the problem or anything, but it's so interesting to see why. Because instead of speaking like their native tongue, they'll be speaking English.
Yep.
So it's usually because like it's taught just like as a primary topic, like for example like maths
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
is,
Yeah, I've seen that.
like math
Mm-hmm.
or like science.
It's like a
It's
mandatory
taught.
class you got to take.
Pretty much, yeah, and it's not like the English that we do, like Shakespeare and stuff. Like they straight up just do it like maybe how like maybe we'll teach like Spanish or something like that, but
Yeah.
it's like as a hardcore level.
No, I agree. I think it's super cool I've said it before on stream, but I took 3-4 years of Spanish, but my best friend was from Mexico, and his whole family spoke perfect Spanish. And I was very
Yeah.
lazy, and I never actually learned much, which is crazy. I kind of just piggybacked off of him for him to like tell me what everything was going on. He was my translator, and he just did my homework for me even, and got me in trouble a couple times because my Spanish teacher knew that that was not me.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I could definitely relate to that for sure. 100%, yeah.
So,
Oh man.
so I always like to ask before we wrap up, who's somebody that you would like to see on an episode of A Dash Assault? I always like to reach out to people. You know, Penguin suggested you, and I was like, okay, I was already gonna hit him up, but I'm glad that he suggested you as well.
Gosh, let me think. I'd love to see Soap.
Don't we all?
It's a Soap already been on an episode.
He is not, but it's in the
Okay.
works. It's in the works.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Soap
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned,
Yeah.
everybody, because you might see him soon. Who knows?
Yeah, I love Soap. He's such an awesome guy.
really is.
Honestly, he's the every single time I speak to him or he comes in my stream or I go in his stream, it's just he's hilarious. You
Yep.
know, funny, just awesome dude. You know, always very very easy to speak to and just it's like you've known him for like at least 5 years. You know what I mean?
He's very
Like,
genuine. So I've said it before, but that's
yeah.
what I also appreciate about people. Just be genuine, and like you'll immediately have a friend in me. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. Totally agree.
Well, I will be reaching out to him. And yeah, thank you for everyone for stopping by. Thank you, Dan,
Thanks,
for joining me today.
Oh, no worries.
I say this to everybody, but I'd love to sit down with you in another 4 to 6 months and see how much your growth has gone in that amount of time.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Honestly, yeah, man.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Totally down.
Appreciate you for being here. I don't want to keep you up any later than you are. I know it's super late there. So, but
yeah, it's almost 1 a.m.
If you want to plug everything one last time, where can they find you? When's your next stream gonna be?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously you can find me on Twitch, CtrlAltDan 1. I stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Come down to the stream. I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, that's a promise. I think. So, on Twitter, it's CtrlAltDan 1 as well. YouTube, just CtrlAltDan. Twitter, sorry, not Twitter. Instagram, CtrlAltDan. Feel free to follow me in all those. I'd absolutely love to have you, and especially come join my Discord as well. It'd be awesome. We've got an awesome community. You know, very very friendly community. So come hang out. Great to see you.
Please give him a follow. It's been awesome talking to him and joining his streams when I can, when I can jump in them.
Yeah. I know the time difference is so huge, like 6 hours. It's like, oh my god. But hey, we did it. It happened. This happened. It's awesome.
Appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate you guys.
Likewise.
We'll end here right now, and then I think we'll raid over to Uncle Cranston because he's gonna have a fun game night tonight.
All right. Sounds good.
But thank you, my man. Have a great one.
You too. Take care.
Take care.
See you later, guys. Good night.